This little modern shrub rose caught my eye. Look at that bloom, just absolutely gorgeous. Creamy yellow centres fading as the flower matures to a almost pure white. It's quite a prolific flower as well. Just look at the flowering stem on this one. This one's called Tall Story. It's a modern shrub rose and was introduced as recently as 1984. It's got a beautiful scent. I think it'd make a very good cut rose. Another modern shrub rose. This one is Jacqueline de Prey. Really unusual flowers with a red, spread out and dispersed central area, and the petals very thin, long opens. Very good one, I should imagine, for the insects. Nicely scented, this. It's a modern shrub rose again, introduced in 1989. You can see this one's flowering really prolifically in August. Good bud formation and plenty of flower. Very nice rose, good healthy growth. Just look at the green on that. Not any problems with that one. Tiny little amount of black spot, but nothing really, considering this is late season now. And grown en masse forms a lovely dense flowering plant. Very nice one, Jacqueline de Prey. Just look at that for a flower rosette or bouquet. Almost could be picked as a bouquet, put in a vase. One stem will give you this display. Again, another modern shrub rose, not quite so modern as the other ones we've just shown you. This one's 1919. Nathaniel nipples, growing very nicely. Good healthy growth. Nice scent coming off this one. Classic rose scent, this one, almost damask. No disease on this plant. It's growing very nicely. Do like that one. If you love crimson red roses, this small flowered flower carpet recumbent variety called Red Velvet is one that's traditionally grown as a ground cover plant. You can see it spreading out here, as the name suggests. But what a cracking little flower. These are only small flowers, but there's plenty of them. Just put my hand in there for some scale. You're looking at a 1.5 to 2 inch maximum flower size, semi-double. Not much scent, but a very good healthy glossy green leaf, procumbent nature, great to grow as a low growing or ground cover rose. Another one of my favourites here, Rosa de Reche. Ours just have a single flush on each year, but these grown in good soil are giving a really good second flush of flower now in August. Just look at that bud, forming up really nicely. These buds are spectacular in their own right. Just look at the way those green protective parts of the bud just wrap their way around. So pretty, and they open up gradually to this beautiful rich full double flower. Not a large flower variety. It does fade slightly to this mauvey red as the flowers age and drop petal, but as young flowers these are beautiful and tight. Just look at that one, almost perfect. And the scent again, rich, heady, and with this much flower it's really intense in this planting. Grown really beautifully. These demonstration beds here at Peter Beale really do give you incentive to look after your roses earlier on in the season and just give you some idea of what can be achieved in terms of late flowering and perpetual continuous flowering with these modern shrub and hybrids. And they also seem to manage to do it with a lot of the older varieties, which we just get a single flush from. These big centre beds giving a beautiful display. Just look at the foliage on this one in front of us, and those flowers, just look at the colour in those. Again, beautiful dark centres fading as the flowers mature. This one is called Champagne Moments. Here's the buds on the same plants. This is a modern Floribunda rose introduced in 2006. Fantastic vigour and health. It's planted right next to this procumbent little rose called Bonica, which is one of the prettiest little pink roses I've seen this season. Look at the bud on that. Again, incredibly healthy, vigorous green growth and plenty of flower forming on it. Really growing well. I think their secret's this top dressing and mulch that they've got on here, and obviously feeding these roses and keeping them well tended and pruned. Lovely little rose that, Bonica. This is one that we grow in Blakeney as a climber. This is Iceberg Floribunda, introduced in 1958. One of the best pure white roses. I say pure white, there is a little bit of yellow in the sepals in the centre, but it opens white, stays white. It doesn't brown off particularly badly unless it gets a real bad raining on. These ones late in the season have got flushed with little pink spots, as you see. That's quite normal to occur, but mainly we've got pure white, beautifully held, full double flowers with good scent. And just look at this little cracker, old-fashioned, almost quartered in nature. This is called Schward Aviv. It's a Floribunda rose, introduced in 2011. Quite a low growing rose this, it's only about a foot and a half tall. If I just pan back you'll get some idea of the planting here. If I pan across to the icebergs, which are a good 2 feet taller, and then this little one, if you're looking for a small rose just to grow in a container or as a low fronted border plant, then this one's your ideal choice. And what a cracking colour that is. Apricot centre, fading away to pink, and then in its latter stages almost white. But what a mass of petals forming those beautiful flowers. The buds are almost as good, just look at that one. Classic rosebud. Beautiful. Again, another low growing Floribunda rose. This one is called the Wren, introduced in 1993. Very low rose this, a little over a foot in height, and giving these huge great flower stems. And these flowers themselves are quite spectacular. If I put my hand in there for scale, good 5, almost 6 inches across, almost flat. This one with good access for the insects with those yellow sepals in the centre. An apricot, pinky colour, fading out nicely on the outer aspects. This is called the Wren. Flowering in a border just opposite the iceberg, we spotted this one. This is called white carpet. Let me just check that. White flower carpet, this one. Again, quite a low growing rose, probably best as a procumbent or ground cover rose, this. Massive flowers though, different to the iceberg in its nature here. Beautiful green foliage, fantastic bud formation, and if I just pan out, give you some idea of the volume of colour here in late August. Just look at all that flower and masses still to come. Absolutely fantastic little Floribunda rose, white flower carpet. And this must be a related rose to the white flower carpet. This is amber flower carpet, introduced in 2005. If you're looking for a buttercup apricot, fading to speckled peach, with masses of flower bud which are bright fire orange as they open up. Spectacular little rose. Doesn't seem as Floribunda as the white flower carpet, although there's a good covering of buds and flower on this one. Just pan back to the flower carpet, the white one, you'll see much denser flower cover, but what a fantastic colour. Obviously that hoverfly's enjoying it, good for the insects with its open, although it's a double flower, it can still reach all the goodness in these flowers. They're not that full a double. And we've been really impressed by the degree of colour that they've managed to maintain in these demonstration gardens. Obviously working away. Tomorite might be their secret ingredient, looking at that. This little pond. Let's just take you up onto this water feature. A little hen enjoying that. And these gardens at Attleborough, part of the Peter Beales commercial nursery, but well worth a visit, and we would encourage you to come down here between mid-May and September to enjoy the wonderful display and inspiration on hand. For any rose enthusiast, it's a must.